Morning.
Morning. Can I come in?
Yeah, of course. What is it? What's going on?
I'm sorry it's so early. I've been up all night thinking. Did you mean what you said at the press conference?
Yeah, of course I did.
You'll do whatever it takes to get this club back on track?
Yeah, that's right.
And are you prepared to spend money to get us there?
Well, one way or another I'll find it, yeah.
Right. Can I show you this?
Bandili. Oh, he's straight through. What a finish by the Paris Saint-Germain striker. Bandili. Oh, what a shot. What an incredible goal. Bandili again. Look at that. Gires is impressed.
Great strike.
Bandili. Oh, he's pulled the goal back. He remains the hottest property in French football.
That lad's the answer to our problems.
He's brilliant. Who is he?
Monday Bandili. Monday was with me at Monaco. He was African Player of the Year twice.
I'm not surprised. I can see why. Go on then. What's the damage?
Well, I'm sure he's only got a year left on his contract, so we'd probably get him for 2 or 3 million.
Ouch.
If he's an English player, it costs more like 10.
Well, the money from Didier won't be enough. We'd have to use a large chunk of next year's television revenue as well. What would his wages be?
30, 35 a week.
Louise wasn't even on that.
Yeah, well, I think he's worth it. Anyway, I've got a few ideas for saving on the wage bill. You said you can't work with pressure anymore, and you need to attract outside investment. You're not going to do that unless it's right on the pitch. I think the lad will do well. He'll set the place on fire.
OK, then let's do it. Who's his agent?
Wolfgang Mayer. He's a bit of a tricky customer, so we're going to have to do our homework before we contact him. I better go. I'm going to be late for training.
Ray, I think it's safe to say pressure will be out to undermine anything I do at the moment, so let's keep this just between us, yeah?
Yeah, OK. See you later.
See ya. Victoria, did we have a meeting arranged?
No, but after your statement to the press, my phones have been ringing off the hook. Everyone wants to interview you.
Great. Nice shades, by the way. Is it a bit bright in here, or have I missed out on a fashion statement?
Late night. Listen, The Guardian wants to do a cover story for next week's G2. Woman's Hour want to do a slot, and Harper's and Queen want to run a feature.
You want Patterson Palmer to do my press?
Or we can start with what I've mentioned and see how things develop. These are very good gigs I've got lined up.
Yeah, I'm very flattered. It's just that that's what we've got a press office for.
Yes, but does your press office have my level of contacts?
Look, Victoria, I don't want to dismiss you out of hand. Victoria, you all right?
It was terrible. He got so angry. He was hurling things around. I've never seen him like it. I don't know. I really thought he was the one. Maybe I've just been kidding myself. Again.
Don't blame yourself. Yep. Thanks, Sandra. I'll be there in a minute. Victoria, look, I'm really sorry, but there's somebody here to see me and I really can't put them off.
Right, yes, of course.
Jeff.
Linda. I do hope this is worth cancelling a meeting with Doug Ellis.
I think you'll find it is.
Victoria, all's well, I hope.
Yes. Don't worry, I'll ring you later.
Right then. What's all this about?
Do you know an agent called Wolfgang Mayer?
Ah, do I? Sell his grandmother's back tea for 50 pence. What do you want with him? So, if I negotiate this deal with Wolfie on your behalf, what sort of cut would I be on?
You on about your fee already? Sometimes think we're sitting on the wrong side of the desk.
Never too late, Ray.
If I know you, half of Monday's transfer fee will end up lying in your pockets.
No, that's below the belt. Excuse me. Hello? I can't right now. I'm in the middle of a meeting. Tash, please don't cry. I'll call you in a minute. Sorry about that. Prash, how you doing?
Jeff, what brings you here?
It's a disciplinary matter involving Jamie Parker. Nothing for you to worry about.
Right, well, if you're sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Prash.
Am I missing something here? I mean, I want to be here when you decide Jamie's punishment, but...
Yeah, but at the moment, I want to keep this deal strictly between us. So, if you can get the ball rolling with Wolfgang Mayer, then that'd be great.
Sure. You'll be able to attend the meetings?
Of course.
Good. 'Cause he's rather partial to a beautiful woman, especially an unattached one. I'll be in touch.
Shark. What were you like lying through your teeth? It's a disciplinary matter, Prash.
I know, I'm getting extremely good at it.
See you later.
See you.
So, what was that really about?
Like I said, it was a meeting to decide the appropriate punishment for Jamie Parker.
You've never been a good liar, and you're not getting any better now. Since when does the chairwoman get involved in disciplinary matters?
When a player's behaviour seriously threatens to damage the club's reputation.
Rubbish. And I finance this club, and I have a right to know what's going on.
Prash, I can see you're on edge at the moment.
What?
Well, Victoria came to see me. You've really upset her.
Not that it's any of your business, but Victoria and I have decided to part.
Ah bon. Au revoir. Salut, à demain, hein? Wolfgang, this is Linda Block.
Pleased to meet you. Can I say that I am a great admirer of all that you've done at Rochester?
Thank you. I'm glad we could meet so quickly.
We are lucky. My tennis players are competing in Birmingham.
Really? Ray White's been held up, but he should be joining us shortly.
I'm sure we'll be okay. Jeff tells me that you have to get up pretty early in the morning to catch you out.
Does he? So, Jeff, would you like to bring us up to date on the negotiations?
Does the name Itumala Kamalo mean anything to you?
Everybody calls him Toomey. He's also with PSG, but he's an even better player than Monday. He was the club's top scorer last season. I have a video with me.
Hang on. Nobody's fully explained to me what the problem was with Monday.
Oh, it's very complicated. He has a very intricate contract with PSG. For him to leave, several selling-on clauses need to be negotiated.
That means dealing with Monaco and Lagos. Even the chief of his tribe in Nigeria is entitled to a payment.
And then there are the loyalty bonuses and the severance payments that Monday will expect from PSG.
You see, the beauty of Tumi Kamalo is that he comes on a Bosman. No transfer fee. All Harchester would pay are his wages.
So what would he want?
35,000 a week, no more than Monday. And Toomey is 2 years younger. And between you and me, a lot easier to get along with.
Hello, Linda.
Victoria.
Wolfgang Mayer. Very pleased to meet you.
Victoria Palmer. And this is Paul Thomas. He's a journalist. Nice to have met you.
So, where were we?
Well, Jimmy Kamalo sounds like our man. Obviously, I'd like to check it with Ray White first.
My advice would be to conclude this deal as quickly as possible. There's a lot of other clubs sniffing around for Toomey.
I'm afraid Jeff's right. I can guarantee you there will be at least 5 clubs on my mobile, all inquiring after him. It's your club, Linda.
Sorry I'm late. Been a bit tied up. How's it going?
Well, there's been a slight change of plan. There were too many snags with Mundy Bandili, so we've decided to move for Tumi Kamalo.
What? I'm not interested in Timmy Kamalo. Monday Bandili's the player I want.
To sign Bandeli would be an extremely complex procedure.
That's what you paid for, isn't it? Fixing difficult deals. Can I have a word, Linda?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Listen, those two Italian knobby styles have bionic legs if they thought you'd buy him.
I thought Kamalo might be a good option. He's on a free. I mean, it'd leave us more money for the other players.
Linda, this morning you told me you'd back me in whatever decision.
Good night.
Look, Bandili's the player I want. Will you give me your support?
Of course, if you think it's the right decision, I'll back you to the hilt.
So, he's agreed the move in principle and says he's looking forward to working with you again, Ray. He can be over here at 3 tomorrow afternoon.
Great. And what about his shin splint injury?
Totally cleared up.
Fantastic. Looks like we might have a deal after all, then.
Yeah. Well, thanks, everyone. If we're finished, I think I'll be up.
I'll take you home, Linda.
Oh, no, that's really not necessary.
No, I insist.
You're all right, Wolfgang. I live next door.
Night, then.
Good night.
That Ray Wyatt seems to be making a habit of blocking all my best moves.
Well, thanks, Ray. A lift home from Wolfgang wasn't really my ideal end to an evening.
Jeff Stein was right about him, wasn't he? He's certainly on the oily side of slippery.
So how are you feeling about the whole thing?
Good. As long as we keep an eye on Wolfgang and know the club gets wind of the deal, we'll be okay. What about you?
Oh, a bit apprehensive about where all the money's coming from, but I made the commitment, didn't I?
Oh, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Night then.
Yeah, see ya.
Monday, this is Linda Block.
How are you?
I wasn't expecting quite such a welcome.
How you doing, big man?
Great.
Good to see you. Sit down.
Linda, I have to tell you, I'm absolutely furious about the press being here.
Yeah, you and me both. I didn't invite them. I think somebody else at this club is clearly trying to take the credit for this deal.
Paris Saint-Germain are livid. Monday is still their player.
Yeah, well, they've already been on to me.
Well, the big clubs will come looking now. And the sunshine of Barcelona as opposed to Harchester on a wet Wednesday night. There's not much of a choice, is there? No. Our only chance is to rush this thing through as quickly as possible.
You couldn't bear the fact that I was going to bring Monday to this club, could you?
Look, I was asked by a journalist if I approved of the transfer. I said I did, and suddenly I've been credited with bringing him here. And I can't stop the press machine once it gets going.
Don't you ever tell me that I'm a bad liar.
Don't you realise what you've done? When the deal was still alive, you alerted every club from Manchester to Madrid. Now the deal's collapsed. It looks like we were prepared to spend a fortune on a crock.
Congratulations, you've turned this whole club into a laughingstock.
Sorry, Miss Block, but the press have been waiting for over an hour now.
I suppose we better get this over and done with. Think you better come as well?
It is with deep regret that the club announces, due to the findings of a medical report, the signing of Monday Bandili will now not take place. One at a time, please, one at a time. One at a time, please. Yes.
Embarrassing, isn't it, Linda? We were led to believe it was a done deal.
Well, obviously it's not what the club would have wished for, but somehow the story leaked out.
Mr. Tatane, why was the deal announced before the ink was dry?
I merely gave my approval to one of you boys when the deal was mooted.
But you've been quoted as saying Bandili was your player.
No, that was a misquote.
Well, that's not very convincing, is it?
It can't be right.
Hang on, can we stop attacking Mr. Tatane and get this into some sort of perspective? Deals break down all the time because a player's unfit, you know that. The difference here is the whole thing was made public before it should have been. Who leaked it, we'll never know. But the real tragedy's for Monday Bandili. Unfortunately, he and this club were at the mercy of an unscrupulous agent. It's a great shame for the lad. He's a fantastic player and I really wanted to bring him here.
Ray's absolutely right. This may seem like a false dawn, but really it's only a minor setback. And we're still going to take Harchester into a new era. Oh, don't bother. It'll only depress you. Or make you want to kill all journalists. Come on, let's talk.
I've got training.
Just take 5 minutes.
An emergency board meeting called for this morning is expected to demand the sacking of Ray Wyatt, according to sources close to the club. Who the hell are sources close to the club?
Who do you think?
Look, Linda, if you want me out, you don't have to hide behind a board meeting. Just tell me and I'll resign.
I don't want you to leave. And there is no board meeting this morning. Look, Ray, I've always been straight with you. I always will be. Now, come on. We need a coffee, hot, black and strong.
I've got to get on, but thanks.
Listen, don't let press get to you. We've got through worse than this before. See you later. Sandra, what are you doing?
Setting up the board meeting.
What? There is no board meeting.
Well, I think you'll find there is. The articles allow for an emergency meeting if a majority of directors request it. A number of them approached me last night. They seem to think that between you and Wyatt, this club is under control.
Oh, I wonder who encouraged them to get that idea. Thank you, everybody, for coming at such short notice. I regret that as this meeting was called without any reference to me, my office hasn't been able to set an agenda or been offered the courtesy of an agenda. So, Perhaps somebody would like to explain to the board why we've all been brought here this morning. Mr. Datani?
Madam Chair, I don't think anyone at this table can be happy about the state this club's in.
I can't disagree.
Then who's responsible?
I think we all share responsibility, Councillor.
I'll tell you who's responsible. One man is responsible for this present mess. The manager, Ray Wyatt. Look at his record. Saved from relegation by the skin of our teeth. Team morale at rock bottom. The last transfer deal, a complete fiasco. And the worst defeat in the history of the club. Humiliation all round. I challenge anybody at this table to defend the man's record. Then I move that Ray Wyatt's contract be terminated immediately.
I believe that you can look at our present situation from a different viewpoint. You might say that it's largely due to Ray Wyatt that we weren't relegated.
But again, you might not.
The transfer fiasco certainly wasn't his fault. I don't think anybody came out of that smelling of roses.
Harchester 0, Leeds United 7.
Newcastle United 5, Man United 0, that's football.
And we lost Louis. But we bought new players. You can't say we've not supported the manager.
Buying players is one thing, building a team is another. It takes time.
He's had time. Whatever happened to the dream of Europe? Wyatt's taken us out of Europe. We couldn't beat anyone at the moment. We're pathetic.
Now, how much longer are we going to tolerate this mismanagement?
Yeah, I propose we put it to the vote. Ray Wyatt to be dismissed today. The club's seeking a new manager.
If you sack Wyatt now, what are we going to do for the Bradford game? Do any of you feel confident to take over the team? I propose the board supports Ray Wyatt for another week. If we lose the Bradford game, reluctantly I'll have to sack him. Those in favour? Thank you. If there's no further business.
Perhaps you might use the time to compose the poor man's farewell speech.
Said I'm busy. Oh.
How's it going?
Fine. We'll beat Bradford.
Listen, I need to explain what happened at the board meeting.
You are? You said there was no meeting?
It was an emergency board meeting called by Prash. Listen, Ray.
No need to ask what the subject under discussion was, then?
No.
It only took me 10 minutes to clear my desk.
I won you a reprieve.
What does that mean?
You've got till after the Bradford match.
That was generous of them. What if we lose the match?
We won't lose the match. Look, Ray, I'm under a lot of pressure too. You seem to forget that. It gets harder and harder to support a manager's position when the results are disappointing.
So if we lose the Bradford game, I'm history, right?
Hello. How was your day? Don't ask. Oh, you look exhausted. Let me get you a drink. That's the first kind thing anybody's said to me all day. Victoria. Yes? You've got to help me get Prash. He's destroying me. He made my life a misery today. Thank you. He's trying to engineer it so I have to sack Ray Wyatt. What can I do?
Well, you might not like my advice, but why don't you just sell him the club? Have done with it. Go off and enjoy yourself.
You're right. I don't like that advice. There's got to be another way of doing it. It's got to be.
I had a fantastic response. But the first thing I would like to do...
Excuse me, Mrs. Blott, I think you should listen to this.
In 10 minutes, exclusive to Harchester Sound, Ray Wyatt, who will be in the studio to take part in our phone-in.
What? I've got to stop him. Sandra, you try reception at Harchester Sound and I'll try and get him on his mobile.
Come on, Ray. Answer the phone.
Just to remind you that we have Harchester United's troubled manager Ray Wyatt here in the studio.
I hate to say this, but I think he's shooting himself in the foot. Really?
Now it's time to take another call. I think we have Ken on the line. Hello, Ken.
Look, not everything that happens at a football club happens on the pitch. It's much more complicated than that. But starting with the win over Bradford, I guarantee that this club will be playing in Europe next season, or I will resign.
Hear that, chaps? We can't lose. Either Europe or New Gaffer. Exclusive to Harchester Sound, Ray Wyatt.
Can't you see how much you're harming the club?
Me? My business apart, Linda, Harchester United is closest to my heart.
If you had one.
Now, please.
I warn you, Prash. You're doing irreparable damage to this club.
Let me warn you. This is going to happen every week. You'll get sick of it and you'll want out. Excuse me, I have guests.
Mrs. Block? Miss Block, come with my family. Just come down from London today. This is Miss Block. It's my dad. Hello.
Hi.
His wife, Maren.
Hi.
That's my two brothers, Ben and Chris. Miss Block owns the club, so.
Oh, I hope you have a lovely day, and don't be afraid to ask for anything, will you?
Thank you.
She's a nice lady.
And his decisive touch makes it Harchester United 1, Bradford 0. Fed delightfully there by Scott Lucas, but his maturity and confidence when he got the chance to bury it must be an absolute delight to his coach Ray Wyatt. Harchester lead 2-0 now. Now hit 3 in 12 minutes, and Scott Lucas helps himself to 2.
I think Ray Wyatt can be proud of himself, don't you?
Absolutely nothing.
Are you celebrating Harchester's win or drowning your sorrows?
As a loyal member of this club, I'm delighted with our victory.
Oh, speaking of victories, I must find Ray. Victoria, keep an eye on this loyal member, would you? Make sure he keeps out of mischief. And by the way, Ray stays.
Agreed.
Good. There you are.
Thought you'd be upstairs celebrating your victory.
What are you talking about? This is your victory. Congratulations.
So I'm off the hook.
Oh, only for today.
Kitty's gone to Thailand. She's taking William. Father's dying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Should I be sorry?
Not for him, no.
Well, here's some more good news. Luis is marrying his childhood sweetheart.
Like a couple of shadows. Cheers.
Cheers.